welcome to another episode of the Project Bag podcast. On the show for you this week, I have not one but two finished objects, neither of which I can show you. And I have been working on lots of whips, and there may even be a cheeky new Festive cast on. We talk make-alongs and I share some of my favourites from your contributions. And finally, I will be sharing with you my winter plans and hopefully regaining my seat. Hello and welcome to the episode. I'm not entirely sure whether it's episode 46 or 47. Really? Dogs. I'm not sure whether it's episode 46 or 47, but I am thrilled to finally be back with you again. It feels like it's been ages. I think it may only have been 2 weeks, but I don't know, the time just flies. It is the 26th of November, which means that there is less than a month to go until Christmas Day, which I will be celebrating quietly with my husband, my dog and my 2 cats. Oh, I should probably tell you who I am. Hi. Can you tell I'm a bit rusty this time? So, I'm Gemma. Nice to meet you if you're a new viewer trying out the podcast for the first time. I wish I could promise it's normally more professional, but no. And if you're a returning viewer, well, you know what you're letting yourself in for, so quite frankly, that's on you at this point. Yes, so I am here, slightly delirious. We have just had new news about restrictions in the UK, specifically England, post what is currently being described as a national lockdown, but kind of isn't really. So it's all action stations, all hands on deck to try and get things ready for that and for those changes. So I'm feeling possibly a little more frazzled than usual this week, but I've spent some quality time with my bullet journal. Setting up a new bullet journal and trying out a new routine, trying out a little bit more of a balance, trying to get a balance, which I try, long-term viewers of the podcast will know, I try this every few months and, all I can say is progress, not perfection. Hello, darling. You trying to stick your head behind me? You're not very, don't shove on your bottom. There we go. There we go. You're going to curl up, are you curling up on my whip? Okay. So, I might be able to get a bit more comfortable now. So I'd usually start, if I was wearing anything knitted, by talking about what I'm wearing. So let's talk about this first of all. This is a bog standard jumper that I bought from Matalan, which is a kind of department store we have here in the UK. I bought it in winter 2017. So this is my 3rd winter and I absolutely love it. It's nothing special. It's grey, V-neck, oversized, cozy, just what you want in the winter. I was also wearing a hand knit shawl. This one, I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to have to ask Helen what it's called, but I've got this on loan to show you guys. This is from my lovely friend Helen. She knit this in some of my hand dyed yarns. So if you're new here and you're not aware, I have a hand dyed yarn company. It is coming up for 3 years old, which is super exciting. It's called the Midnight Dyery. It used to be known as the Project Bag. I talk all about this over on my blog, which you can find at theprojectbag.co.uk. But yeah, Helen is a lovely, lovely friend of mine, and she's got a bit of a thing for my yarn, which is never a bad thing. And so when I released my new colourway collection in the summer, I think it was the summer, Helen snapped these up and created this beautiful shawl, whose name I will put on the screen for you now. So the solid colour for the garter stitch is Earth's Shadow, which is beautiful grey, blue, teal. And the contrast colour, I'm showing it to you back to front, the colour for the lace is Moonlight Shadow, which is greys and purples and blues. So this was really when I was starting to become more confident and more comfortable with my style and my aesthetic. And yeah, I just think it's fabulous. This just took 2 skeins, and this is where she'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. And also it has this fabulous I-cord edge. Now I am very new to I-cord beginnings and endings. but it just gives such a nice finish. It's an absolute pain in the derriere when you're doing it because it seems to take forever, and it's like you're at the end of a project and you're finished, you just want to, but the I-cord takes forever, and you literally feel like you're going backwards rather than going forwards. So, but it is well worth it. You end up with such a fantastic result. So yes, this is the shawl whose name I can't remember, in yarns from me, knit by Helen. This is not the only shawl of Helen's that has been shown off lately. In the magazine article from Knit Now, issue 122, that I shared last week, Helen's Curious Handmade shawl, which was the Stillness shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. So Helen knit a shawl designed by Helen Stewart. That also used my yarns and has pride of place in that article as well. So there we are. Oh. So I was wearing it, but I've just got too hot and the studio lights are kind of beaming down on me, and it's just a bit much. So that's what I'm not wearing. I have no hand knit socks on because I am about to wash my hand knit socks, and yeah, I say about to, I'll probably end up doing it tomorrow now because it's already dark and it's already much later than I was intending to do any of these things, but best laid plans of mice and men. I've got no idea if I've missed out loads of admin at the top of the episode. I'm going to put loads of information down in the doobly-doo down the bottom in the description box. You can find me on Instagram as The Midnight Diary. You can find my website at the moment at theprojectbag.co.uk. My email, should you want to contact me, is just down below, and you can also share your thoughts in the comments section down below as well. Right, let's do make along news. I was going to do finished objects, but I'm going to draw a winner for the for the Switch and Knit Stitch Dictionary by my wonderful talented friend Tabitha Hedrick. She is a designer and a fantastic teacher. She is the design director for Sweet Georgia Yarns, which I'm sure you've heard of, Felicia Lowe's hand-dyed yarn company. And yeah, she's released this fantastic book and we've got it over here as well, which is great. She sent me a copy to look at. We are still waiting on them arriving at the UK distributors because it's a book that I want to stock with my day job. But I've decided to go ahead and draw the winners. So there were two prizes up to grabs. One is for people within the US and one is for people within the UK. So, within the rest of the world. So without further ado, our US of A winner is, congratulations to you. Please give me your details if you drop me a message on Ravelry or drop me an email at the email address, which you can find right down there. Then I will get in touch with Tabitha and we will get that sent to you. And now for our rest of the world winner. Congratulations, whoever you might be. I haven't actually drawn it yet, so I'm just hoping that I can line up your name with the area I've created with my hands to display it. So yeah, congrats to you. Again, get in touch with me, drop me an email, Gemma at theprojectbag.co.uk, or message me on Ravelry, either or, and I will get that shipped out to you as soon as possible. I hope that it will be with you before, but postal dates aren't. It's all up in the air, and you know why, don't you? Are you ready, kids? Because pandemic. Yeah, I did actually have a message from someone who said that they were joining in with me when I went, because pandemic. You've got to have the action as well. Down and down. Okay, stop it, Gemma, stop it. You're supposed to be a professional. People will never believe that you have not one, but two responsible jobs. I don't believe it sometimes myself, but hey-ho, delirium. I should probably tell you as well that I am actually off of caffeine. Context, if I pulled a strange face there, it is because it is school kicking out time and the little boy who thinks he's a bit of a man, is dancing in front of my house, making lewd gestures while I'm recording this. So, you know, kids, they've obviously got nothing to divert them with, but hey. Finished objects. I have 2 this week, neither of which I can show you. The first one is a full finished object, and I can't show you because it is a design for the yarn dispensary, which is my day job. I'm the manager of a wonderful, gorgeous yarn shop in, I had to think about it then, in Faversham in Kent, where I live, and I design for them occasionally as well. So I can't show you that, but it's lovely, and you know, head over to the website, keep an eye on their Instagram as well to see that revealed. The second one I can't show you because it is it is a secret test knit for the lovely Kirsty. I mentioned this last week. I am testing a sock for her. Yeah, she did reveal it was a sock. I haven't spoiled anything there. I'm testing a sock for her, but it's top secret. It's a design that's going in one of her boxes for the end of season, for the end of year, and yeah, so I can't give it any away. I'm just going to say it's fab, and I look forward to being able to show you a photograph of it after Christmas. It's going to be a photograph because my calves have become cows over the lockdown. I think it's a combination of walking more. I think my muscles have become more defined, as well as I've grown as a person in many ways. So I'm actually going to gift this to my friend who has much more slender legs than I, and also will just love this pattern. I know it. I know she's going to absolutely love it. So I cannot show that until after Christmas, but you're just gonna have to trust me that I have finished things. So let's move on to Cal news. I'm going to sort of intersperse the knitting, because you've seen so much of it so far, haven't you? I'm going to intersperse the knitting with some admin, and the next thing is Cal news. And it is, let's think, we've got the Vanilla Along, which is being hosted by Alice with the Dr. Sockstagram audio podcast. I'm kind of joining in / enabling / spreading the love, spreading the news. So that is continuing. So anything that is plain and vanilla-y in knitting or crochet can count, and please do enter. The idea is that we need a bit of a palette cleanser, some gentle crafting to help us cope with what the world is throwing at us at the moment, because pandemic. So that is still going on. The other one is the Great Festive cast on Cal. That continues. It's going until, I can never remember when it's going until. I'm just going to put the dates down below, or possibly up here as well for you. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and hope for the best. The Great Festive cast on Cal needed to be new cast-ons from the 1st of October onwards. The idea being that you get your festive makes, whether it be for you, for the house, for friends, for loved ones, and we kind of embrace that and hopefully win some prizes for it. If anyone wants to donate prizes, then please do, because my prize pot is looking a little bit thin. Yeah, so that's that. With that in mind, I have another festive cast on which would also count for the hashtag Vanilla Along, and I'm going to talk about that next. Sorry, I'm going to have to take your pillow away. Sorry. So last week I shared with you that I have bought a new yarn called King Cole Yummy in their Christmas colourway. This is called inventively Merry Christmas. It is 100% polyester. It is super duper squishy. I only had a picture of it last time for you. I didn't have the actual thing. And this is what Magnus's blanket has been made out of. And I have bought enough yarn to make 2 blankets. And I have not stopped in the middle of the row, so I'm making progress. Here we are. This is it. It is so, so jolly. I mean, Christmas green, Christmas red, white, And where I've used the long tail cast on, it almost looks like a candy cane at the bottom as well. So the recommended tension for this is 20 rows and 10 stitches to 4 inches or 10 by 10 centimeters. So that in mind, I decided to just cast on the recommended needle size 100 stitches, and I am working in a garter stitch. I have got 7 balls of this yarn. I'm allowing 3.5 balls per project, and and yeah, so that is that. I've got 2 of these to make by Christmas. Okay, camera angles changed now and a slight costume change, because I can now show you the second whip that has been receiving most of my attention this past week. It is my weekender. As you can see at the moment, it's looking a bit like a woolly, I don't know, ripped vest or something, but I am absolutely loving it. I have got as far as Kitchenering the front and back neck and doing the 3 needle bind off for the shoulders. However, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that I don't have the fashionable ridge that is meant to go across. This is by accident, not by design, because I may have done the 3 needle bind off inside out. And I did one, and then I picked up to do the next one, and I just thought, oh, this is wrong. And I looked at it, and I looked back at the one I'd finished, and I thought, do I care enough to undo it? And the answer is no. So I'm just owning my mistake. The only thing I'm struggling with, being completely honest, I must have a really huge neck, because this feels really restrictive. And on the pictures with Andrea wearing hers, and with anyone else who's done this that I've seen, it doesn't pull as tight around the neck as for the others, as you know, for the people who I've seen wearing it than me. So it just feels a bit uncomfortable and a little bit itchy, if I'm honest. But you know, maybe once it's washed and blocked, it will ease up a little bit. Maybe I just did my Kitchener stitch too tight, I don't know. So as you can see, I have finished the body. And I have now, you can hear the clanking of the knitting needles, I have now picked up for the sleeves, and I've just done a little bit more than it wants for the, it says to knit straight for a certain amount. I have done more than that because I've got quite large arms and I can feel quite restricted in sleeves that are designed for normal people who do not have aspiring bingo wings. But yes, so that's where I've got to so far. I'm just trying it on to see if I want to start doing the decreases now or not. I think this is probably comfortable enough for me to start thinking about doing some decreases. But I shall stand up and, to quote Dundonit, show you the weekender boobs. And there we have the weekender boobs. This is my second weekender. Have you noticed, have you seen that Caroline is back? She's back. She's done 2 episodes and they're glorious. To quote her again, go and check her out. If you haven't watched the Dundonit podcast yet, you need to. Except for it's not called the Dundonit podcast. It's called the Knitting Vicariously podcast with the lovely Caroline, who is known as Dundonit all around the interwebs. Anyway, I'll link her down below as well. Basically, she's cheered me right up this week by coming back. It's wonderful. Thank you for coming back, Caroline. I've got no idea if you watch this. You probably don't, but thank you anyway. So, channeling my inner Caroline, let's get back to the weekender boobs. This is my second weekender sweater that I have knit. The first one I did, I will try and flash a picture up for you, sort of here, and I thought I knew better than Andrea Mowry, and I decided I didn't want 10 inches of positive ease because that would be huge, surely. I mean, no one needs that much positive ease in a jumper. So I knit it, and lo and behold, it didn't fit me particularly well, it didn't look flattering, and it looked absolutely nothing like the original. Let me just put that back just a little bit so you can hopefully see a little bit better. You can see the light in my dining room there. So it is knit in the round, but it has a split hem. You knit it inside out because Andrea is a genius and she knows we don't like to purl. And if you do like to purl, good for you, I guess, but I'm faster knitting. So that is why my joining in of new balls of yarn is actually happening apparently halfway up my back, outside for everyone to see in all their endy glory. And yeah, it's got a faux seam up the front, so you wear it purl side out for that. And I mean, it's huge. I could, you know, if the puppy got cold, I could probably smuggle him in there and that would be fine. But I like where it comes to sort of just below my pocket line on my jeans, so it's covering my bum, and I am actually going to go for full length sleeves this time. Last time I just wanted the whole thing to be over and did sleeves that ended about here, and the whole thing was just an unmitigated disaster. So I'm going to whip this off quickly and I'll see you back in a sec. Oof. Sweater hair. And we're back in my old faithful jumper that I absolutely love. So last few comments on the weekend sweater. It is a paid for pattern. So, but I will say that the pattern is fantastic. It's really well written and clear, and it's a really nice sort of potato chippy in the evenings project. I am using a yarn called the Croft Shetland Tweed, and that is an Aran or worsted weight yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners, which is a Yorkshire-based, go figure, Yorkshire-based yarn company and pattern house. And they have teamed up with Jameson's of Shetland, or is it Jameson Smith? I'm going to get this wrong. Jameson's and Smith, I think. They've teamed up with Jameson and Smith to create the Croft yarn line. It is in Aran worsted weight, and it's also in DK. And they've got a new yarn coming out, which I'm going to show you in that's just come out, that I'm showing you in just a moment for Stash Acquisitions. So I am using the Marister colourway. I purchased mine from the Yarn Dispensary, who, like most local yarn stores at the moment in lockdown in the UK, or in England anyway, certainly, are closed to the public, but they are available online. Please support your local yarn stores wherever they may be, however you can. Quite a sobering thought. I'm just going to put this aside here. It is getting to the time where we are thinking perhaps about doing some shopping, possibly online, because of obviously restrictions and because pandemic. Quite a sobering thought is that 20% of independently run businesses will go out of business this year in the UK because of the pandemic, whereas, and it's not a bad thing, certain sort of more global, more Amazon, have gained something like 100 million, billion, trillion, gazillion. I don't know. You can look up the statistics for yourself. It's quite easy to see. But if you are doing any purchasing online, please think about those people in your local area, local independent businesses, local shops. See what they might be offering for you online first. So you can get your commercial yarns there, and if you want indie dyed yarns, I'm sure that many local yarn stores do them as well, or perhaps buy direct from the dyer. There's my little plea this Christmas. With nary a donkey in sight. God, they made me cry. So yeah, that's that sweater. So I've done quite a lot since I last saw you, and who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to say what's going to happen by next time, because I don't know when next time will be, but place your bets below. Where do you think this will be next time I record? I'm curious to see how many of you are optimistic and how many of you really know me. So I get up and the dog immediately stretches all four legs out, so I can't sit down. Come on, go yourself up. Let Mummy sit next to you. There we go. Okay. Okay, again, all the camera angles. This is what happens when you work with animals. The final whip that has been getting some love from me is my marled blanket. I love it. I have somehow managed to leave it. Oh, that's why. Yeah, because I've run out of that colour and I need to wind up the next ball. Let me just shimmy. Talk amongst yourselves while I just shimmy these over to the next needle. I think we've been here before, haven't we, folks? Yeah. So how are you guys? Come here often? Nice people like you doing it in a nonsensical place like this, hey? Just you know, nothing to see here. Nice weather we're having, yeah? A bit gloomy here today in the garden of England, a bit grey, bit dreary. Perfect sweater weather. What's the weather like where you are? Blanket! Here we go. So you can see, well, you might not be able to see very clearly, but I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours in my mild blanket. Now I'm again doing it like a rainbow, but it's not a perfect rainbow this time, not like the other one was, and I just love it. This was all Amy's fault, so my new cast-ons are all Dandenit's fault. The mild blanket rabbit hole is Amy's fault. I have got it living in this project bag here, which was a birthday gift from my lovely friend and occasional co-host Jules, and this is by Wyatt and Jack. Don't know why I said Jack like it was a surprise, or like I'm on the Titanic. Jack. And it's hashtag we are made by the sea. So this bag actually used to be a deck chair, and in it I have lots and lots of minis ready to go into this here blanket. My one problem at the moment is I currently have that much undyed 4-ply yarn left, so it's not going to be an FO before Christmas. You get no prizes for answering the question this time. So that's what I've been working on so far. What is coming next down the pike? Well, remember I was talking to you you might remember, it was like 3 minutes ago, but you might remember. The Croft Wild Shetland Tweed, and it is Jameson and Smith, sorry, not Jameson's of Shetland. There are 2 main wool brokers in the Shetlands, Jameson and Smith. So there you go. This is Aran Roving 100% Shetland Islands wool, 166 metres per 100 grams, and it is glorious. I mean, no surprise I've gone for blue. Got to be on brand. Now, why have I done this? Well, as you know, or may not know, but if you remember, from about 10 minutes ago, I run a local yarn store. And one of my favourite yarn brands to work with, commercial yarn brands to work with, is West Yorkshire Spinners. We've got their Aran Weight, tweed and colours, and we've got their DK, and they have just brought out Wild, and this is what it does. So yeah, I'm going to be making this sweater for me. As soon as I saw it, I thought that is a sweater that I need in my life. And I thought, well, this is yarn that I want to stock anyway, so get a bag, knit a sample, and then we're ready to go. Yeah. And that is precisely what I did. So you will be seeing more of this, not on this podcast, but, drumroll please, on the Yarn Dispensary podcast. Myself and 2 of my team recorded the very first episode a couple of weeks ago, and I am going to be editing it soon and getting it up. And typically you're going to see a bit more of a divide. If you want to see more commercial yarn things, then I'll be obviously showing those off on the Yarn Dispensary podcast if they're Yarn Dispensary relevant, and I'm going to be doing more of my own stuff over here and talking more cross stitch and all sorts of other bits and bobs like that. That's not to say I won't ever show you this again, but if you want the full rundown on this, then that's it. Now this jumper is in the latest issue of The Knitter. They have got some absolutely fabulous things in here this year. What am I talking about? Help me, help, what am I talking about? Someone. Oh look, there's the Croft Shetland DK, the cover sweater from their pattern book for Croft Shetland DK. There we are. And this is what it looks like in the cake. So gorgeous. You see, it's more like a roving, it's twisted rather than plied, so it's spun. Right, well that's about it for creative content this week, except for to say that I am thoroughly jumping on the Blame Dunderknit along bandwagon, hashtag Blame Dunderknit, because around this time of year, the glorious Caroline does assume all responsibility for any irresponsible castings on that we may choose to pursue. So you've already seen the squishy thing, and I just want to make all the things right now. My whipboard is looking really quite tame. It's only got sort of 25-ish things on it at the moment. I'll do a full whipboard review later on in the year. So yeah, that's coming down the pike. I'm already planning to knit all the things and cast on all the things, so we'll see how that goes. With regards to shop updates, there are not going to be any more woolly shop updates for the Midnight Diary this side of 2021. That said, I have got a few more bits and pieces to pop in it. not least, if you're looking for gifts, the Tilly Flop Tea Towel. Got a few of those. We also have some of the crochet project books that you'll be able to find in there as well. We have a crochet sock collection, which I'm desperate to get my teeth into. The crochet project book 3, shawl project, sorry, book 2 and book 1. So I have all of those in stock at the moment. Well, it will be at the moment by the time you watch this on my website. The other exciting thing, in case you hadn't been aware, is that I also have some accessories and notions, like for example, this fluffy pom-pom of joy. I have three shades available, and they are snap fastening. So you've got your little snap and the other side there, and you can poke it through your yarn, through your finished object, and snap it on, or you can choose to sew the bottom part of the snap onto your hat or chosen thing that needs a pom, and yeah, snap it on or snap it off as you see fit. So these are also available on my website now. So what's coming up next is my winter break. It started by accident and now I'm doing it by design, and I'm taking advantage of having all of December and most of January away certainly from the website and doing updates and formal things like that. Doesn't mean I'll be away from the dye pots completely. I've lost it. But I'm going to be focusing, among other things, on my design work. You may or may not know that I have a few knitting designs out at the moment. I'm currently working on a small crochet collection. And I'm thinking I might just have to pinch this here skein of Berry Kiss Chunky from my shop, if, you know, unless any of you get there first. Chunky yarn, it retails at £12. You get 100 metres and possibly a strand of my hair. You get bonus, you get 100 metres per skein, and it does go quite far. In fact, one of my friends bought Spiced Plum from the last shop update, and she knit herself a pair of fingerless mitts. I'm going to pop a picture here, and they are just scrummy. So I'm thinking I might pinch that if it doesn't go. And I don't know. I think that could look rather fetching. So that's about it from me this week. The website, theprojectbag.co.uk, is going to be retired. However, I have started a new style blog called Midnight Musings, and that is over there. Well, thank you very, very much for watching and for putting up for my absolutely transcendentally bizarre mumbled ramblings again this time. I'm more than happy to provide you with a weekly, fortnightly, monthly, occasionally, whenever I manage to record, dose of nonsense, and it means so much that you come back every time. Take care, my darlings. Bye.